Right, in the previous video we learned about adding a class and maybe adding a subclass, and we added a property, and we saw that a property needs to have a domain and a range, and we saw how to actually assign that. If you remember here, we added a property here. We added a property called plays instrument, and we gave it a domain of class musician and range of class musical instrument, and we said that whenever we use that in a triple, if we want to use that property in a triple, then its domain must be, i.e. the subject of this triple needs to be of type or a musician, and the object or the value of that property needs to be a musical instrument. Now let's say the address book that's provided by the author, which is this address book here, as we can see, his first name, last name, postal code, some other information. Let's say, or the author is assuming that he's going to add another triple to this address book. If you look here, it's exactly the same one, but with another triple now, with another, because it's the same sort of the same subject, he's adding another property and another value. Property plays instrument, the one that we added before, this one here, and then he's giving it a value of type vacuum cleaner, as you can see. Now usually whenever we think about classes in the object-oriented way, if we say members of, for example, a class, let's say class musician, have a play instrument property, well, what that means is whenever we instantiate, whenever we create a new instance of that class, then they need to have a value for the play instrument property. Yes, they need to have a value for that. In RDFS and OWL, in this sort of idea of ontology design and RDFS and OWL, the idea is the other way around. Let's have a look at the last two triples of the example 044 to make it clearer. So the last two triples, these two ones here, this one and this one, when we added the plays instrument property, what happens now is that if something has a play instrument value, yes, or a play instrument property, then it's a member of class musician. Yes, so if that's not a value, that's a property. So if anything has a plays instrument property, that means it is a member of class musician. So it's actually opposite to the object-oriented. Object-oriented, whenever we have a class, member of that class needs to have that property automatically, whereas here, if anything has that property, that automatically means it is actually a member of class musician, the class that is actually in the domain of the property. Hope that makes sense. And then likewise, if the class has that or the value of that plays instrument property, the value of that property is a member of class musical instrument, as we here assigned it by the range. So whenever something has, or whenever a subject has this property, then automatically it will be understood, it will be inferred that that subject is a member of class musician. Yes, and then the value of that property, the plays instrument property, the value of that property will automatically be inferred to be as a member or as an instance of class musical instrument because of the domain and range. So the idea here is opposite to in object oriented. I hope that makes sense. Now once we've added the new triple, as we see here in example 45, so let's have an example here. We added this one, the author is saying he is adding this one, the plays instrument and then vacuum cleaner. So if we find this, then automatically it will be understood that this individual here is an instance or as a member of class musician, and this vacuum cleaner here, the value of this property is again a member of or an instance of class musical instrument. I hope that makes sense. This will be automatically inferred. This will be automatically sort of understood or deducted. Any RDFS aware software or Sparkle processor knows that Richard Mott, for example, which is this individual here, the one we're describing with first name and last name and the rest of the information, it will automatically know that this name is now a member of class musician, and it will automatically know again that vacuum cleaner is a member of class musical instrument, although we did not explicitly say that in our data. This is the power of this stuff, and as you can see here, this is why I'm putting in bold here, in thick here, just saying that using the semantic web standards by adding one property to the metadata about the existing resource, i.e. for example this resource here, that resource becomes a member of a class that it wasn't a member of before, automatically, just by adding one property rather than having to create a new instance of that class and instantiate the values as we do in object oriented. We just add one property and it will be automatically inferred that a resource becomes automatically a member of a certain class, as we saw here for Richard Mott, for the musician, because he is now as we see in the example file here, the subject of this property is automatically a member of class musician, and the object of the property is automatically or becomes automatically a member of class musical instrument. I hope this makes sense. It will be automatically inferred that these are subclasses or members of the certain classes, everyone according to the domain or range as I explained before. Keep watching. The next video is going to be interesting as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.